copy of today's recording and the slides are people who've commented in the question box. I will let you know when to do that. So I'll timestamp that so the system will save it and it will send it to the email address that you registered with. So if you haven't found that question box yet, find it now so you're not mad scrambling when I ask for that, and you might miss all the information that I'm actually sharing in the actual session, okay? So I do want to make sure you can find that right away. And as always, you probably did get, if you were here yesterday, you are just probably now getting a copy of yesterday's, because it does take about 24 hours for all of this to render. So do know that it will be tomorrow, which is still Friday. So tomorrow you will get a copy of the actual slides and the recording, and you can speed me up and slow me down as needed, okay? So thank you to our Google partners. This is who I am, of course. I come with a strong small business background, and everything that I've done in starting my small business in a business incubator, to growing it, to actually my adult sons taking over and taking care of the business, to being a Google trainer, I have earned the Texas Governor's Excellence in Small Business Award, as well as the Person of Vision. Now, more importantly, I have boots on the ground, actual practical experience in digital marketing for 18 of those years, and 13 plus in international e-commerce. So while we're talking about selling online with e-commerce today, there's a lot that I'm going to cover that is not on the slides. And I'm here to answer your questions because I'm a huge fan of OPE, other people's experience. And I know that your time is so valuable. It's even more valuable than money. We all only have 86,400 seconds in any given day. And if I can shortcut that for you by sharing my experiences with you, I'm happy to do that, okay? So just use that time for this. Now, do know at the end when we do a lengthy Q&A, so even though I do keep it interactive and I will address your questions and concerns during the time, because I feel like it's really important, especially if we're talking about a specific topic and you're really trying to wrap your mind around it, I will address it. But if it's personal or very lengthy, then I'll save that to the end. I will turn off the recording to be respectful of your privacy, but also that's a benefit only to the people that are here in the room, okay? So let's go ahead and move forward. How would we receive a copy of the previous webinars? Cynthia, reply or actually connect with your Google partner who invited you. That's the best way to start that. And then if they can't provide that, you can reach out to me by replying to the email, but start with your Google partner, okay? Because they are the ones who can help you more quickly than I. I'm terrible on email. It'll take me 4 or 5 days to respond. So just being honest here on that. So I would rather they help you right away than you try to wait on me. So today we're going to be talking about selling online with e-commerce tools. Again, if you need closed caption, that URL is here to the left of your screen. And you can find me on Twitter. This is my Twitter handle. And there to the right of that is my Instagram handle. If you are hashtagging, please use Grow with Google. Tag me and I will repost, retweet, reshare you, and put you in my stories, okay? So let's talk about why we sell online. Some people would say it's obvious, but I've actually talked to many people who are a little bit iffy about it, thinking that it's all just word of mouth and people will come to their location, even after March 2020 and the changing, shifting business environment. So we'll talk about still what's happening now, currently, the facts and the numbers of what's happening when people selling online, how you can showcase your products with a business profile, how you can also showcase it in Google Merchant Center. Now remember, everything that I'm talking about is 100% free. Now when we talk about Shopify, which is a CMS, that's a content management system. So Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, all of that, WooCommerce, all of those are what's known as content management system. It's an organized system to put all of your content and your product or your services, your PDFs and your videos all together. So that's why it's called a content management system. Shopify is a CMS. They actually partnered with Google, and that's why we highlight them here. However, everything that I'm teaching you today and how to set that up is building a foundation in any CMS. So it works for Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, okay, but even though this is specific to the Shopify brand, it still will apply those best practices. And as always, I end with a recap and resources. Now, the resources I'm sharing are 100% free. If you need specific resources about e-commerce that are not on this deck, that is when I'll do that at the end. I'll go off camera because then I'm not going to be Maria, the Google trainer. I will be Maria, the marketing coach, and I can give you some and share some advice or some best resources there, but I can't show that it looks like Google endorses that because their partnership is truly with Shopify. Okay, deal? So I just want to give that preface there. Let me see. to miss the beginning. No worries, Tammy. No worries. Happy to have you here, Tammy. So good to see you here. And I've seen several people already log in from Houston. So welcome back and welcome to day 3, last day of Business Bootcamp. So let's go ahead and dive in, everybody. Why do we sell online? Okay. Well, it's because where people are. I am a big fan, as you heard the past few days, about fishing where the fish are. People are going there, and that's just on the increase. Even locally, we go there when we want to know who has that brand and who has it in inventory. Is it in stock? So we know that even shopping online drives in-store visits, because people will then go to their local business. People are very focused on shopping with their local community. They'll see who does online, who does delivery, who has online reviews. They will make a decision, and they would much rather do that with their local community, but if you make it easy for them. So that's our job as the professionals in our business and business owners. We have to know and make it easy for people to buy from us. So no roadblocks, nothing to make it difficult, no friction. So you see this happens. Even in stores it happens, because we'll look to see who has it. We may want to go try it. We may want to go see and touch it and feel it, or maybe it's just an outing for us, but we want to go in an educated outing. I was having this conversation a moment ago with Angela, who's doing our closed captions, about how sometimes, because of everything that happened in March 2020, and because we work remotely, because a lot of the Google team is still remote, you know, it's funny that sometimes I'll go out. I went to the airport the other day because I was headed to Las Vegas for a meeting, and I went out there to the airport, well, meeting and to take care and party with my dad for his birthday. But I was headed out to Las Vegas, and I saw a restaurant, and I thought, where'd that come from? You know, now that I don't do any commuting at all, my commute is back to the coffee maker and back here to my desk, then I'm totally missed when they built that. So a lot of times we're just even becoming familiar with our own communities, right? But we don't want to go out unless we know for sure what we can find and what we're looking for. So we go with extreme purpose there. So for you, for your products, how many of you have products or services? Let me know in the question box. Does it products, services, or both? I'd love to know exactly what the businesses are here so I can customize what I'm presenting to you here today. So I see products, I see some service too. Okay, some both. Perfect. All right, thank you. Keep letting me know in that question box where you can showcase your products and services. You can showcase those on Google Business Profile. We talked about that quite a bit in part 1 of the Small Business Bootcamp. If you didn't get to attend that, that is what's used to be known as Google My Business, or GMB, or your Google listing. It changed in January to the Google Business Profile, and that, when you're Googling, shows up on search and maps. It's a chance for you to totally manage your hours of operation, your location, whether you want to show your location or not publish it on maps at all, but still show that you service an area. All of that is for free and really good prime visual real estate when somebody's searching on mobile or desktop or laptop. But you can also showcase in the Google Shopping tab. Now, this is not shopping ads. This is shopping tab. Shopping ads right here, that is where there is a fee for that. Shopping ads, there is a fee because when somebody clicks, there's a fee for that. It's PPC, pay per click. But Google Shopping tab is different. That's 100% free. You can also showcase yourself in Google Lens. How many of you have used Google Lens? I'd love to hear. Okay, I see. You've got a podcast and you're going to come out. Okay, so you're going to have both. Some have, coffee website. Cindy, we need to talk. I love coffee, so I need to know your URL. Make sure you email me your URL then, okay? And then Ginny, yep, you've got product also. Perfect. Oh, damsel in defense. Love that, Ginny. Okay, cool. I want to even learn more about your business now just because of the name. Very cool name. Also showing up in Google search is important. How many of you have used Google Lens? I'd love to know. Just let me know in the question box. All right, so let's talk about how we can showcase your products or service. And understand, your service could be a product. You could be bundling it, you could be packaging it. It could be something where it's a download, it's a digital product too. It could be all of those things. So you're going to hear me call it products, but it is products and service, because your service can be a product. Make sense? You're just working on it. Okay, so no coffee yet. Well, I will stand in line and I will wait. You can shout out to me, Cindy, when you do have coffee on your site, because I love coffee. Oh my gosh, coffee and tea. That's my thing. If you want to find me in any community that I'm at, I'm usually checking out the local coffee, local coffee growers or grinders, and then also local tea. Katrina, not familiar with Google Lens. Okay, most people are not. So we'll talk about how you can showcase your product, but do understand when I say product, I do mean products and services as products. Okay, so just clarifying that because I do refer to it as products quite a bit. So first is that Google Business Profile. This is what I was referring to. If you look here all the way to the left, right there, you'll see, oh, I left my notifications on. So we're gonna see little pop-ups like that. Sorry about that. So if you look to the left here, you'll see that's what your Google Business Profile looks like. So you've got your Google Business Profile here, really good prime real estate there, and you can showcase your products and services on your Google Business Profile. Depending on your category, you can show one or the other. So depending on the business category that you chose, or you can show both. Now, what I do encourage in your Google Business Profile is for you to have the main category that you're known for, but then after your business is verified on Google Business Profile is to choose the 9 subcategories that you can also choose. So you have the opportunity if you have products and services. So if you have both, you'll choose a category in those 9 that could cover that. That gives you great opportunity, and it also shows the uniqueness of what you provide, more than just one category. So that's one of the best practices, but you can see how your product looks real nice here, and you can put a range of prices. So that's product, remember, services is a product. I just want to give you that heads up because I will refer to it as product quite a bit, and I don't want to throw you off that your service can't be a product. So first you have to sign into your Google account. Remember, all of this is the keys to the kingdom right here, is that you must have a free personal Gmail account or a free Google account. If you have an email account, you don't have to turn it to Gmail. You're just going to go to this URL, see that at the bottom left? I'm going to get out of the way so you can screenshot that, because you will get a copy of today's slides and the recording by 24 hours from now, and you might want to apply what you learned and go ahead and secure a free Google account already today. So I'll get out of the way so you could do that. Your number 1 on the list. Yay, I get to be at the front of the line, Cindy. I love that. I'm so glad. I mean, seriously, I'm about coffee, and I actually happen to work with a team that we laugh because coffee's our mascot or our spirit animal, is what we say. So I've got a lot of people to introduce you to when you do get that online, okay? All right, so how you can add your products or your service, so you can do both, or one or the other, depending on your category. So again, look at those categories, but you can put the name of your collection here. You can even say what it is, a gift. Now you could put a price range. You can put a description there also. Remember what I said about the importance of being relevant. So Google's algorithm relies on 3 pillars. Number 1 is relevancy. How well do you match what people are looking for, the words that they use, not what you think they use, what they actually use. So you can use that description as a place to populate that with information that will help Google match that when somebody's searching. So that's relevancy right there. You can also add a button like order online or call or buy now. So you can add all of that there. You do not add the link within the description because it will be rejected within the description. So there's a special call to action button that you can activate, and it'll walk you through how to do that when you're in your Google Business Profile. You click save and you're good to go. And this is what your product will look like as it is being seen across Google, especially if somebody's in search or maps. So what a great free tool you can use to really control what people see and the information that Google has about you and presents to other people. That is why I highly encourage you to use this free business profile. And even though you may have a website, do link your website, put your website address in your business profile, because that is just more horses in that race for visibility, and I'm okay with that as long as they all point to home base, which is your website. So now how can you showcase those products there within Google Merchant Center? Google Merchant Center is another free tool. Now you can buy shopping ads there, so that is paid side, and a lot of people think it's only for shopping ads, but it's not. It provides so much more. So Google Merchant Center is something that you can use for free, and you've heard me talk about that before. I'm a bootstrap marketer. I love free or small fee, and I actually love free first before you do any ads, because once you promote something, that's what ads do. They promote, they amplify, and if you're a hot mess, that's all it's going to promote, and you'll waste a lot of time, energy, and money doing that too. So in Google search results, when you have your products and services in Google Merchant Center, you will see the search results will show actually your products and services. Now, what you're seeing in front of you here in the graphic, those are Google shopping ads. Those are paid positions. So that's what a lot of people will assume, that it's in paid positions, but it does show up here free in the 10 organic search results on any Google page. But where it also shows up in is in Google Shopping. So if you've ever looked at the tabs up here in Google, you have all, which is everything there together. You can search through images, you can just search maps, or you can search for shopping, which a lot of people do because they want to look at a different price range. So they like to set that. They want to see what's available nearby, or they want to do a price comparison. So you can do that easily in shopping. The problem is if your competitor is using that in shopping, I apologize for that. I did not turn off my notifications, and I don't want to bring that all up now while I'm here. So just please give me a little bit of grace on that. But you'll see on shopping here, if you aren't showing up, then all that's happening is they're having consideration about your competitors. If you're not visible, you don't exist. If people don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. So here you have a great opportunity to actually comparison shop and show up in shopping. And this is 100% free as long as you are enrolled or you enrolled and signed up. Signed up is the best word to use in Google Merchant Center. All right, so images is also another place that you can show up. So see there, we looked at shopping tab. Well, there's also an images tab, right? So you can show up in images, and a lot of people shop by images because maybe they don't know the exact name of something, but they were at a bridal shower or a wedding shower and they saw that photo album and they thought, okay, that looks like something that I want. So they remember the visual. We are a very visual society. We know that already in, sorry about that. We know that already in I'm sorry, that distracted me for just a moment, but we know that already, that we're very visual when you look at TikTok and Instagram, okay? So you know what? I'm gonna turn those off because I'm the one who's gonna be distracted by that. Give me just 30 seconds here, hold on, to turn off my notifications. Pause notifications. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I just don't want you to, I don't want to waste your time, and I'm the one getting distracted by that. Okay. All right, I have now officially paused notifications. Thank you for your patience on that. So Google Images is where you can show up here too. And Google Lens. So if you haven't heard of Google Lens, it's an app actually that comes already built in on many Android phones and other phones as well, but it's Google Lens. You can also download it for free in the Android or iPhone store. And what that is if you see something, for example, let's say I'm at a baby shower and I take a quick photo of that, it will actually search for the photo through Google Lens. So this is only available in the US right now, but it is being beta tested in other countries. So it'll roll out as soon as the test is done in each of those countries. So we're going to see it worldwide, but right now fully in the US, you can use this. And I love this. I was talking to a local photographer who has a kind of high-end newborn baby album, and she didn't think that she needed to be on Google. And I told her, well, what happens, let's say if people are at a shower? Because I told her I was at a baby shower for a friend of mine, and it actually was a baby reveal party, but we were doing gifting and everything, so gender reveal. And I saw this beautiful frame that I loved, and I thought it would be beautiful for my sons to have, so I wanted to find it, and I just couldn't get with the celebrant. I mean, not about that. We met about several things, talking and just visiting and just laughing about all things kiddos. So I didn't talk to her about that, but I took a quick picture of it and I looked for it in Google Lens, and I was able to find who had that locally and who had some good reviews. And I saw lots of sources, not just locally, but even other places I could get it. Now imagine that you're that newborn photographer and you have this album, and even though it's a high-end album, you're not even considered because you're not visible. So to everyone there, you don't exist. Now imagine that you have this, you know, I could be Cindy, let's say I'm over somewhere and I see they've got Texas pecan, and I'm thinking, oh, I would like that coffee. Wouldn't it be cool if I took a picture of that bag or maybe the sign about Texas pecan coffee, and all of a sudden it showed up, hey, Cindy Scott has this on her site too, and it's available. Plus you can get maybe subscription based, so even get some other coffees that you've not tasted before. Okay, so that's how you can show up for Google Lens. Again, you can give a price range, so you don't have to act like you're going to knock yourself out of the park. But this photographer really thought, hey, I've got a high-end product. People aren't going to want to see that. I said, let them decide what they can spend. People will spend on whatever they see value and need, they have a need for. So there's nothing wrong with showing up in Google Lens. Now, how many of you knew that? Because that to me is so huge that a lot of people don't realize that you can search by images utilizing Google Lens. Okay. And of course, there's shopping ads. That's a paid position. That's right here at the very top. So you do need Google Merchant Center connected to be able to utilize shopping ads. So if you plan on using shopping ads, definitely you need Google Merchant Center too. So how that works is you're going to create a Google Merchant Center account. You'll upload your products there, and then you'll showcase those products across all of Google's surfaces, which Lens is considered a Google surface. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Oh, I know, you didn't know. A lot of people don't know that. I am such a fan of Google Lens and all the cool Google tools. And I'm always sad when I hear from somebody who is paying for something that is free on Google. And that is why I love doing these trainings, because I'm okay with you. I mean, buy whatever you want as far as services, but do it with an educated decision and not just, I didn't know this was available and now all of a sudden you're out of pocket some money because you didn't know that you could use this. And this is a tool that a lot of people don't realize is available to them right now in the US. So you'll go to the g.co/merchant center site. That's g.co/merchant center, and you will now sign in. Remember what I said about you having a free personal Gmail account or free Google account? Once you have that, if you go to this URL and you click sign in or click at this little icon, it will refresh and remember your credentials, okay? Yep, I use it all the time, Cindy. I do. I love it because it gives me different options. And I'm sad when I find from somebody, they'll say, you know what, I have that product and I didn't even realize that. How many of us do that? I know that's always my Thanksgiving conversation around the Thanksgiving table. I'll say something or somebody will say, hey, they do this, and they're family members. And I tell them, I didn't even know that's what you provide. I had no idea that it was a product that you provided or a service, because we just don't talk about that, right? All right, so once you've joined the Merchant Center, once you've enrolled, you're going to put your business information in. You see, you put your name, what country that you're in, and then your time zone. Your time zone is very important. The reason it's important is because you are going to measure your marketing. If you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal, is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. So we want to know the exact time when people are doing things, and so we put our actual time zone in. Now, if they're in another time zone, that's fine, but we'll see that in Google Analytics and the information here in the back end, but we want to put our correct time so we're not making any mistakes as we make decisions on when to release something. Remember what I said yesterday about the business that had a dog product and he knew his best customers were between the ages of 35 to 54-year-old women, and that the time they were online was at 2:20 in the morning. So he didn't schedule anything, his ads, any of his social posts to even publish till 2 o'clock in the morning. Not that he couldn't serve everybody that owned a dog, but because he did not want to miss his absolute best customer. So that timestamp is really important. Then you make a decision on where do they check out. Do they check out on your website? Do they check out on Google? So this is just launching, everybody. It is rolling out by region this fall. So you're hearing it first, but that you can check out on Google. So you don't have to worry about all those different Merchant Center things. As far as merchant accounts, you can do this just from Google too, or you can do it from your merchant accounts too. You can give people options. Isn't it better for us to be able to make it easy for them to buy from us, however they want to buy from us? Just keep coming, just keep buying some more. And you could also say at a local store, it could be your local store, it could be that you have a display over somebody else's boutique or local store, but you can decide if it's one or all three or just a couple of them. All right, so once you do that, you can provide additional information. If you're using Shopify, there's actually other content management system tools listed here, just not pictured for this slide, or if you're using a merchant center like PayPal, so a merchant processing service like this. And then you'll see you have the chance to opt in. And I would check both of these off, because you would have known about Google Lens earlier if you had checked this off, because you would have been a part of the beta launch because you already had a Google Merchant Center account. The same thing with Google, buying on Google, so being able to pay on Google. That service, as soon as it rolls out, you'll get the first notice of it, okay? So it has been beta tested already, but it's rolling out by region right now, so it may not be in your region yet, but there are other things in the work that I can't speak about publicly, but I do know that you want to check this off and be the first notified, so you're ahead, you know, you're steps ahead of your actual competitor. Make sense? All right. So once you're in your Merchant Center account, just like any other Google tool, all the navigation happens on that left-hand side. You'll see that you can look at the products, you can look at your performance, and also get some growth tips too. So I do love that about the Merchant Center account. Once this is what the dashboard or the home page, once you're logged into your Merchant Center account, looks like. Then you also do need to verify your business. Now, remember what I said yesterday when we were talking about Google Analytics, and anytime actually during the business boot camp, I've talked about analytics. When you connect all your Google tools, it signals to Google that you're a viable business. The more you connect, the more confirmation, the higher you show up in organic search. It's just good SEO practice. But when you connect Google Analytics, which measures what people do on your site, so how people shop, that truly is to me the cornerstone tool I use, because it verifies and communicates with all of these tools like Google Merchant Center, so you don't have to worry about utilizing Tag Manager or getting with your web designer or your web manager to be able to put in an HTML file or code onto your site. Everything already is confirmed through Google Analytics, plus it's giving you that additional lift in search. Now, after you've confirmed that you own it, you can add your products, and you can do that individually or multiple by hand manually, or you can do a big upload. Let's say you have 1,000 different products or 1,000 SKUs, so several variations of one product. You can do that as well here by using these upload tools. Individually, you're going to type it in, so you can see that you could type that in. You can let them know that there's an identifier like a GTIN code that you might use internationally there, so you could put all of that in. But you can also upload multiple products too, so you don't have to do all of that typing. And then of course, we want to click these two local surfaces, because anytime a test surface or surface area like Google Lens becomes available, we want to be the first in line for that, right? Just like I'm going to be in the first in line at Cindy's coffee shop, her online coffee site, you want to be first in line here. And then of course, surfaces across Google, you want to show up as many places as Google wants to show you and where people are spending time, especially when you don't have to pay for it, right? So then you click continue. Once you click continue, you will see now that you have the opportunity to name your feed. Your feed is your listing of all of your different products and services. What I love about this is if you look at this little first bullet point here, the first one you can check off, you'll see learn more. Google has already set up the sheet that you need with all the information there. So you don't have to create this from scratch. You can go here and go to Google Sheets, which works just like Excel. So if you don't know that, in your free personal Google account, your free Gmail account, that Google Slides works like PowerPoint, it's just like it, but there's no additional licensing fee. Google Sheets works like Excel, and Google Docs works like Word. So all of that's free already through your account. So all you need to do here is click Learn More, and a free populated sheet will show up that's already set up, so it really aligns nicely with Google Merchant Center. Now I saw somebody, yay, yep, absolutely, yay, you want to be first in line, right? I know that made me feel excited and special, Cindy, so I absolutely we want you to be first in line when new things are coming up and new visibility for you in Google. So as you finish up, you're going to actually generate a Google spreadsheet from a template. So that template's already set up for you, and then you can also upload an existing spreadsheet if you already have one. So you have both opportunities. Now, see, this is what that Google Sheet looks like. So it does look just like an Excel sheet, and it's already ready like this. Plus, the instructions here are already there. So you'll get a walkthrough of exactly how to do this. Everything is put together for you to make it nice and easy to get your products up on Google. So using Google Merchant Center, it really helps us in Google search. It helps us show up in Google Shopping tab. Of course, the shopping ads, we have that too. It will help you show up within Google Images, and then of course, the wonderful Google Lens. So that's the Merchant Center side. Now the CMS side is Shopify. Remember what I said, Google has a partnership with Shopify, but you can use these basic foundational principles for any CMS, content management system, Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, WooCommerce, all of that, okay? So let's talk a little bit more about that. Now you're going to hear a lot about Shopify. I'm going to kind of race past these because I'm really not selling you Shopify. You can get a free trial with Shopify that I believe is $9 for 14 days if you want to try it out. So you're welcome to do that. But it really was built for e-commerce, and it really took off at the beginning of COVID because everybody was making a huge shift on March 2020, and those who were even thinking about going online now all of a sudden just had to, right? So we know that people are looking at both when they want to go online. And when you get started, when you go to Shopify, you can set up a free trial and you can also choose a theme. There are also built-in themes already available. Here's my caution about choosing a theme. Make sure it loads fast. You've heard me talk about that your site needs to load in 4 seconds or less, 4 seconds or less on mobile. If it does not, more than 4 seconds, you'll lose half. 53% of your traffic and another 10% for every second over. And we don't have time like that because we only have a quick 5 to 15 seconds to capture people's attention. If we don't, they go down the line and they never come back to our site. So keep that in mind. While Shopify has some beautiful themes, I do know some of them take 3.8 seconds to load, just the theme. So that's not photos, videos, or any content that you write, your blog posts, which will all slow down how quickly your site actually loads on a mobile device. So when you go to Shopify, you get started by putting your email address. You're going to tell them a little bit about you because they do have a lot of experience in operating so many shops that you're going to get to benefit from the experience with that industry and their artificial intelligence. So once you get started there, oops, I went back, didn't I? This is what it looks like. So their navigation, just like Google tools, are all on the left side. So you see that you have the chance to actually look at your orders, put in products, look at your online store. If you click on this little eyeball here, it'll show you what it looks like and different points of sales that you have available. So when you add your products in Shopify, you can add physical or digital. So there's that confirmation of that. And you can also have different variants. Let's say for physical, I've got, this black cover, I've got a white cover, I've got green and magenta and all of that. So those are the different variations. For digital, it could be that you have something for real estate agents, for virtual assistants, and for doctors, okay? So it could be a little bit different variants of the same product. And it also has great tracking in there too, and it can group your collections to show that to people when they do come visit your site. You have great control of what you can actually put in there and the description. Remember, using their words. Do you have to pick a theme? You don't have to, Michaela, but then if you don't, it's going to look really, really bland. It's just going to be a blank white space. But you might want to have a custom website. So Michaela, if you decide, hey, I don't want to use any of the themes, but I want somebody to custom design that, you might work with a web designer who does that too, because there are several web designers who focus just on the Shopify platform or whatever content management system platform you use. If you use Wix, there are people who also focus on that too. But you can see you can add your additional information here. And once you've done that, now you put your products into your Shopify or your CMS system or your CMS store. Now you can start connecting that to Google. So you'll see in Shopify, it actually gives you a chance to select Google as a sales channel. Now I know there are a lot of other sales channels here. They're blanked out right now because this is a Google sponsored presentation, a Google supported presentation, but do know there's like Facebook here, your Instagram shop. Let me look and see. In fact, I brought some of oh, okay, it showed that I had a little bit of lag there. Can you guys hear me okay? You have to pick a theme. Presentation froze. Yep, Beth, that was not me, it was the internet. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, perfect. Tammy, thank you, Cindy, for the confirmation. Sorry, that was internet. So did you have a chance to, because I didn't realize the internet was giving me yellow connection warnings. Just let me know if you need me to go back to that, okay? So those are sales channels that you can plus in. And then of course you have to let Shopify let you know what information and details that Google will actually see. You just have to confirm that and add that as a sales channel. So you're adding Google as a sales channel, which is Google's Merchant Center. So now you're going to connect your Google account. It walks you through this. It's pretty intuitive. Do know that you have to complete this checklist. It will not connect to Google Merchant Center without this checklist done. You have to have an updated payment method. You have to have a privacy policy. You have to have a return policy. In fact, a lot of shops like your Pinterest shop, your Facebook e-commerce shop, your Instagram shop, TikTok even will not connect to anything unless you've got a privacy policy in place. So all of these are not, they're not, just some or a few of them. You have to fulfill all of these requirements in order to connect with Google's Merchant Center. Now you're going to, once you've confirmed those source requirements, you can now sync your product. You'll see that you're presented that ability to get started and to sync that. And once you start syncing that, you're actually going to choose or create your Merchant Center account. If you already created it beforehand, great, you can connect it here. Or if you had it connected to another content management system, you can now connect it here. You'll do all of that with the confirmations. And now you'll set up your product feed settings. You'll tell them a little bit about your target market. Again, in Shopify's case, it's going on their history and their experience in different industries to give you some best practices and insights. But once you've done this, now you're going to show up in Google Lens, in Google Shopping tab, in Google Images, Google Search, which is what I love. Now you can connect it to Google Ads, but remember what I said about you, before you promote anything, know exactly who your target audience is and make sure that you know exactly what you want to do with this product. What does it look like when it's on your site? What does success look like? Is it somebody buying it or is it somebody giving you their email address? So truly, what is that purpose that you want to see fulfilled by you having it here? The big thing though is do not be overwhelmed. There's a lot to do when you're connecting things together and you may feel like, oh my gosh, I haven't even worked with my customers. I've spent all this time being the chief marketer in my business. But when you get started, that's the best way to do it. And many of these tools like Shopify, Wix does this too, Squarespace, will actually walk you through where you fill in the blank and really can get to publishing that site quickly and connecting with the tools. So if you started an online e-commerce store during all that happened with the pandemic, COVID, and the lockdown, what you can do is go to this site, g.co/growmystore. I'll get my pointer out of the way if you want to screenshot that, since again, it will be tomorrow before you get the slides. But you might want to put your actual URL here of your store or your site, your website, and find out what is not working and what you need to amp up there. This is what I love. This is 100% free. So you can go to Grow My Store and find out 100% free exactly what is really working and what you need to tweak and fix, which I love. And it gives a really great explanation of that. This has been a really great tool for any business that just threw up their shop, in March 2020 because they were trying to meet what was happening. I love this tool too. So there's a international opportunity finder and local opportunity finder. I happen to use the international opportunity finder quite a bit because I'm heavily involved in international e-commerce. And in fact, I just used it day before yesterday to let someone know that, hey, Germany is the best place for you to open a new warehouse and it's the best place to sell with a new Shopify store because they have this much income to spend on your product and they're already spending it there on this particular product. So it's good that you can look at that. So take a look at g.co/local opportunity finder. And then I think the international one is market opportunity finder, but maybe international opportunity finder. And if you'll Google that, you'll find it. And you can use this to do some research if you're thinking about branching off across internationally or even out of your area and you want to go to another state. Which state is the best one to be at? Is it best to promote or focus on the South or the Midwest or the East Coast? What works best for you? You can do that. And you can also learn more by going to our YouTube channel. You heard me talk about it many times after every webinar. This is one of the resources I provide because we're always updating the content on our channel to be relevant to what people are needing right now, especially small businesses. And then of course you do have these career certificates. I just wanted to remind you about them because you have a free scholarship as long as you're a business with an EIN number, and not just you, but everybody on your team. So we're a family-owned business. So of course everybody on my team is family, and I want them to have this kind of education because I know that it's costly to get it without the scholarship, and you have access to the scholarship till 2023. It doesn't mean you have to finish then. It just means that you will be scholarshiped in and you can finish then, and it is recognized by like 3,000 different secondary education institutions, universities, and employers. So it's just nice to have if you're interested in that and you know this is what you want to do. You really want to focus on your digital marketing and this skill set, be it from user experience to creating a great website to actually looking at digital marketing itself as a whole. And of course, if you want any other topics, because we have a whole host of topics that we just launched this week that we are adding to our list, our menu of topics that our Google partners can ask us to come out for, like creating customer-focused marketing is one. Design thinking for entrepreneurs. I love that one because I personally have been heavily involved for the past 14 years working with inventors. There is make your small business accessible because access is needed online and offline. So there are best practices to do there. How to select a domain name and to be able to develop a free site on Google Sites, a free website. And really how to brand online. So all of that is available for free, but you do need to reach out to the Google partner who invited you. But if you go to google.com/grow, you will see the update of all the new training that is available. And we're even launching out more. I'm very excited about what's coming down that I can't even speak about yet. So really do make sure that you take a look at that. And having said that, I'm going to open now to Q&A. Let me go ahead and stop the recording.